We live on the most extraordinary planet, full of life, wonders of natural beauty, and diverse ecosystems. Yet, it is threatened by our unsustainable lifestyle.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change.
Now must be our moment for action.
But the journey is long, and the journey is hard. And we don't have much time left to make that journey. So let us begin.
Have you realised that something as simple as having a drink with your friends could be killing our planet? On average, each pint you consume contributes 759 grams of CO2 to the atmosphere. This may seem insignificant. However, the UK consumes 8.5 billion pints a year. This immense carbon contribution is the result of international sourcing, worldwide shipping, and unsustainable practices in production. But what if you had a choice? To be part of the solution and not the problem. Future Brew is here to revolutionise an emission-heavy industry. Beer is our gateway to change. We make a truly sustainable and carbon-negative beer using surplus bread as one of our main ingredients. This bread is supplied from local bakeries and supermarkets that would usually contribute to the 900,000 tonnes of bread that is deposited in landfill every year. After 3 weeks of processing, our planet-saving beer is perfected and ready to be distributed. Through our e-commerce, we provide our beer to customers with the help of our low-carbon delivery partners and the use of bicycles for our local deliveries. And for our business-to-business, we work with subscription boxes, online retailers, and the hospitality sector. Our innovative business model allows us to keep our supply chain local, drive social mobility by employing individuals in our supply chain, and to reinvest 10% of our profits to local climate impacting projects. Our first beer was launched in January 2020 in Southampton and sold out within the first 36 hours, selling over 500 pints. We were scheduled to supply Varsity, then the pandemic changed everything. Not being able to supply the hospitality sector, we adapted. We partnered with Signal Brewery to create our first ever packaged beer, Dodo. Dodo is made from a unique blend of bread, crystal malts, and local hops, forming a zesty, refreshing, and planet-changing pale ale. We also created our manifesto, 26 pledges that encompass our commitment to ethical production, ensuring our practices remain sustainable as we grow. This includes UK sourcing within 200 miles of our breweries and selling our products locally within a 150-mile radius for our cans and 20 miles for our kegs. In addition, we pledge to zero single-use plastic and zero waste with all our leftover materials from the brewing process, including breads and malts, producing biofuel. Further, we track all of our emissions across scopes 1, 2 and 3, and we are offsetting 110% of them. We are transparent with our emissions data to our customers, making them aware of how their choices can have a real impact. Committing to our pledges, we save 160 grams of CO2 from being emitted to the atmosphere per pint. As a result, we are a carbon negative business. But Future Brew is so much more than just our beer. We want to utilise Future Brew's brand to support our community through providing jobs and work experience. We have started by collaborating with Enactus Solent to identify young people at risk in our community, to whom we can provide work experience placements. We are also planning on employing an individual through the Kickstarter scheme as our warehouse manager in Southampton. With increasing social concerns as a result of the pandemic, we identified an urgent need to support our local community. By working with local schools, we identified the most vulnerable pupils that would ordinarily receive free school meals. We wanted to lead by example, and thus we created the mystery bag. Each bag has a variety of staple ingredients such as bread and different fruit and vegetables totaling 10 to 15 different items. Made possible through our partners and our Buy One Give One scheme, we supplied 60 families with nutritional food baskets on a weekly basis for 3 months. This totaled up to ingredients for more than 8,700 meals, resulting in 3.8 tonnes of food and 12 tonnes of CO2 emissions saved, enough to drive from London to Edinburgh 114 times. And this is just the beginning. We are currently working on an overall rebrand and the launch of our new pale ale. Launching on the 15th of April, we are in talks with major online retailers to stock our beer. As a result, we are forecasting 120,000 cans in sales by the end of 2021, with a stock list of over 50 locations, informing a staggering 20,000 individuals through our digital media campaign every week. We are planning to expand operations to Bristol and Brighton by introducing 2 more breweries into our supply chain by November. By the end of 2023, we are going to be operating in 4 countries, inhibiting the emissions of 1,000 tonnes of CO2, supplying over 670,000 pints per month, resulting in monthly sales of £1.3 million. This year, we secured funding from 3 investors in the Dragon's Den competition through our university startup incubator, giving us a valuation of £220,000, helping 3 of our volunteers secure full-time employment, taking on 1 individual part-time, producing over 6,000 litres of beer, and we were interviewed by Lad Bible, the BBC, Tab, Daily Echo, and the Metro. At Enactus Southampton, we don't stop there. We are tackling problems across the world. Climate change is a global issue, and we are in a position to make a change. This is Narendra. He is one of the 600 million people in India who face water stress. Yet, his work is jeopardised as the worsening effects and volatility of climate change have destroyed 18 million hectares of farmland from floods alone. Despite Narendra tirelessly labouring in the fields for 12 to 14 hours a day, he only earns 340 rupees a day. Our aim with Project Milan is to economically empower farmers so that the millions that are struggling financially do not join the 42,480 that committed suicide in 2019. With members of our Enactus Southampton team passionate about water insecurity and experience from previous established projects in India, we decided to investigate this problem further. With our initial research completed, a small-scale prototype was constructed. To ensure our idea would work in India, we formed a partnership with Enactus DTU, who helped us deliver a needs assessment to potential beneficiaries in Delhi. With our research confirming the situation, we visited Delhi in August of 2019 to start construction on our system that is uniquely designed to combat the effects of climate change. Our aquaponics system works in a continuous cycle. Fish are farmed in a tank which produces organic waste. This waste is passed through a series of filters, converting it into nutrients, which are then pumped into the growing beds. Here, the plants are cultivated on floating rafts and uptake the nutrients for growth. In turn, this cleans the water for the fish, so the cycle can be repeated. This eliminates the need for harmful and expensive fertilizers and the extensive use of water. Materials utilized for the system are sustainable and locally sourced. In order to minimize plastic usage, our unique design predominantly incorporates bamboo whilst maximizing the recycling of flex and PVC pipes that would otherwise have gone to waste. During our time in Delhi, we constructed the tanks, growing beds, filters, and a protective greenhouse. The pandemic brought forward a new issue. Due to the lack of supervision on site, we sustained multiple monkey attacks, resulting in severe damage to the entire system. Subsequent to conversations with advisors from local businesses, we invested in a sonar sound system that only deters monkeys by emitting a frequency that they're responsive to. This implementation has been a success, with no additional attacks. Since then, we finished building the system and we're forecasting to start growing produce by early April. We have created new partnerships and are currently in contact with iChemie Water, a global special interest group who are providing technical and project operations support. In addition, we have verbal agreements with Aquaponics AI, who will provide us access to their IoT technology specifically geared towards maximizing the efficiency of aquaponics systems. Upon completion of our project, we will be able to work efficiently and effectively to meet our target of employing a beneficiary to work on our system full-time by June. We are on track to harvest 1,600 kilos of fish and produce 14,400 plants, enough to stock an Asda supermarket for 6 months, culminating in a yearly revenue of £14,300. The Vice Chancellor of DTU has expressed high interest in buying the plant produce, and wholesalers have also inquired about the possibility of purchasing the fish from our system. With our aquaponics system, we are helping to reduce the economic fear farmers like Narendra experience as climate change threatens crop survival. This year, we saved 12 tons of CO2 emissions, raised funding from 3 investors, provided more than 8,700 meals, redistributed 3.8 tons of food, introduced a new packaged beer product, and constructed a 300 square metre aquaponics system. We live on the most extraordinary planet. Only together can we combat the worsening effects of climate change. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. We are Enactus. We are climate change makers, and we are taking action now. Are you?